right here, and there you go. This stuff breaks very easy. It's not like a vinyl record. And then you want to pulverize everything. Hello, welcome to WayPoint Survival. Today, we're going to show you Horace Kephart's amazing trick for waterproofing matches. Stay tuned. One of the Horace Kephart quotes that I really like is this: "The man who cannot light a fire in the rain has no fire at all." Now, in the last 150 years, there have been a lot of improvements in fire making. But the match, the simple stick match, is hard to beat. The people of the late 1800s and the early 20th century used matches almost exclusively. Even though they had many other methods of fire starting, it was the humble, simple match that they liked. And after all, what's not to love about it? It has this nice little head on it there, which is a striking service. This is a strike anywhere match, and you can light it on any rough surface, and it already has spark and the fire starter on the end, plus you've got a piece of wood for your fire pile to get started, and which extends the burn time. So really, in a lot of ways, the humble match is not only a great invention, but it continues to be pretty well the same, even though we have lifeboat matches and stormproof matches and all of that today that are available to us. But Horace Kephart had a unique way of waterproofing his matches, and he wrote about it. As a matter of fact, one of Horace Kephart's friends, Irving Stearns, known as Kip, said that he tried to persuade Horace Kephart to manufacture and market his waterproof matches. They were that effective. So let's get to that right now. Now, to do this project, you're going to need a few tools. First of all, you want to get some dewaxed shellac. You can buy that various places, including eBay and Etsy. You can also get some old records, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. You need a hammer, a rag, some strike anywhere matches, a little bit of cheesecloth. You're going to need some sort of a dish or a bowl. I've got an old wooden bread bowl here for mixing dough in. You're also going to want some sort of a coffee grinder, and you want something that you can buy cheap and dedicate for this use. You're also going to need some alcohol, and this is methylated spirits. This is denatured alcohol. You're probably going to want some sort of a funnel. You're going to want a couple of measuring cups. This is a 1/2 and a 1/4 cup. You may want another small cup to measure or pour things in, a couple of glass jars, and then finally you're going to want some sort of a small tin to put your finished matches in when you're done. Before we go too much farther, I want to remind you to go to waypointsurvival.com and sign up for our brand new newsletter. It's completely free, comes out at least once a week, if not more often, and it is chock full of great advice and information. That's WayPoint Survival and Prepping 101 newsletter coming to your inbox every single week. Make sure and sign up. Thanks a lot. All right, so let's talk about these old records here. Most pre-1950s 78 RPM records have a lot of shellac in them. Now, they're not pure shellac. Typical composition, even though shellac was the main binder, the resin is about 25 to 35% shellac. There are some fillers in here, such as limestone, slate dust, could be carbon black, and there are some plasticizers, such as stearic acid, cotton flock, or even sand and lamp black. And of course, you've got this black color. And one thing that you're going to notice about these old records, you can get these at secondhand stores, and you want to get some, of course, that are broken. Both of these are. I picked these up at the Salvation Army, and so that one's got a big chunk out of it, and this one in particular is actually completely broken in half. You can see that it's just split right down the middle, all the way almost into the center. So both of these records are pretty well just gone, so they're going to work well for this. And this would be like a poor man's solution or a hobo solution for making this particular project. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to break this into pieces. This stuff breaks very easy. It's not like a vinyl record. And like I said, these are already no good, and a lot of people just toss these out. Now, what we don't want in our shellac is we don't want any of this center here. We don't want any of that paper. So if you can, try to break it off without any of that paper being in there. And one record will do quite a bit. Okay, so once we get this broken up like that, you want to take and put a rag or a cloth over top of this, and then you want to pulverize everything. And this is going to take a while. It's kind of loud, so I'm going to do this and get back with you. All right, so once you get that pretty well pulverized, and you want it to be, you know, about fingernail sized pieces, so, but just basically broken up pretty good. Then you want to take your coffee grinder and open it up, and you want to start putting some pieces in there, and you want to start cranking that and grinding this. And again, this can take a little while to get this going, but once you get this turning pretty good in here, then you're going to be able to grind it really fine. And then when you open the little drawer here, you're going to see we have already some pretty fine pieces that are kind of put up in there for us to work with. And the smaller you can get these pieces, the better it will be for your mix, the quicker it'll work. All right, let's get to work. Now you can also use a powered grinder if you wish. This is a little slow, but it would definitely work. And see what we're doing here progress wise. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. We're getting a pretty good mix there. We'll just keep at it. I'll get back with you. All right, so pull the tray out, and just like grinding coffee, we're going to have some larger bits in there and some smaller bits, but that's okay. And we're just going to kind of put them in this tin cup here, and kind of pour it over top of this in case we spill some. All right, so there we go. We got about a cup or so of what we need, and just ground up record. All right, now if you do buy your shellac, and this would be pure shellac, so this is only a partial mix of maybe as much as maybe 35. It could be, I suppose, 40%, but 25 to 35 is probably a good average. But if you buy this, you're going to get a lot more of a pure mixture, and this, of course, is the type of shellac that you would use for refinishing furniture and things like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our jars, and we'll just set it here, and we're going to do a 1/4 cup. So we'll put a 1/4 cup of our mixture in here. Just a little bit more for good measure. All right, as you can see, not quite a 1/3. So that's good for that. And then for the other, we're going to use these professionally made ones here. Now, one thing to know about shellac flakes, or our ground up records here, is this stuff will last pretty much indefinitely as long as you don't add anything to it. So we're definitely wanting to make only just so much. We don't want to do too much. Again, more than you can use. And I'm going to put there, and just a little bit more. All right, I think you don't want this mixture too thick, but there's a lot of space in here. So we also have to remember that this is the pure form, and that this is greatly diluted. So when this is all finished, there's going to be a whole lot of junk down in the bottom. We'll want to decant the stuff off the top of it. And of course, we've got quite a bit left over for another time as well. Okay, so we've got these ready to go. We're going to get our methylated spirits here. All right, and then take the cork off and pour some of our alcohol in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Should be pretty good. And the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And remember, this is a 1/4 cup. Now we put on the lids and make sure they are nice and tight. Don't want them leaking at all. So you can test them a little. Yeah, pretty good. And then you're going to shake it up really good. And then you got to let this dissolve. And you're going to have to shake this several times over the next actually 2 to 3 days, depending on how much you shake it and the conditions it's in. If it's really cold outside, it's going to take a little while. You can do it in as little as 8 hours, but you want to make sure that the whole thing is dissolved. And of course, it's just going to take a little while. And this is the one with the professional flakes in it, and this is the one with the records. It's going to be really black. So we're going to let these set for a little bit, and then we'll get back with you. Also, I wanted to add that if you want one of these great 100% wool shirts in this great green color, you can get it from Logsdon & Company, and I'll make sure and put a link in the description box below. Okay, so it's the next day. The shellac has been in the denatured alcohol for over 22 hours, I believe. They have been shaken multiple times. This is the one from the records, and this is the one that we bought commercially. And you can kind of see the color. This one foams up, and it's a nice brown color. It's also quite liquid. This one is quite liquid as well, but it's got a lot more of the excess record junk inside, so you can't see it quite as well, but it will become obvious after I dip it. So this is all you do. You want to take your Strike Anywhere matches, and we're going to start first with our commercial shellac. And it's really windy out here today, so I apologize if that causes problems with the sound. But you can take as many as you want. You want to dip them about halfway. Make sure they're well coated. It should run off very cleanly and very easily. You can kind of see what that looks like, and don't mind shaking them a little bit. That's not going to hurt anything. And then what you want to do, according to Kephart, is you want to put them up somewhere to dry. And I find that using a bit of corrugated cardboard works really well for that. And you just stick them down in here like this. You can do as many as you want. It's very easy to do. So that's that. And then set this aside, put something on it to weight it down because of the wind. We'll leave this open. And then this is what it looks like. You got to be careful. This stuff is a stain, so it gets on your fingers quite easily. So then we'll do the shellac that we got from the old record. So we're just going to take and we're going to dip this about halfway. You can immediately see the difference. And of course, you can go ahead and shake that off a little bit. You can see how much darker that is, and that's because of all the extra additives and stuff, the lamp black and whatnot. And we'll do that again. We'll stick that in the corrugated. We'll put that over here on this end. And again, you can do as many of these as you would like. The important thing is to let them dry well. And we can take time and do all of these, but this is just for demonstration for this particular video. So all right, we got to let this dry. Now it's also important that you cap these jars. Remember, this is alcohol, and this will evaporate. And I believe I told you previously that this only has a shelf life of about a year. So you need to go ahead and use this up. And by the way, that much shellac, just what little bit I used, that could make thousands of matches. I mean, literally, there's a lot of liquid there. So just make sure and cap it tightly. Make sure you got good jars and good lids so you can store it. And then put this up. It literally only takes maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. We're in the sunshine here. That's going to help a lot. But depending on your outdoor temperature, this is going to dry really fast. All right, so here we have some dried ones, and this is the commercial shellac. You see, this is from the records, and we've got a tin cup of water. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll try one of the commercial shellac. So we'll put it in the water, swish it around a little bit, shake it off, and then you'll have to pardon the wind. Like I said, it is really blowing out here. So we go down here and we're going to strike it. And the wind blew it out, but if you could see that, it lit quite well. We'll do another one. So here's our water. Dip it in there. Make sure it's nice and wet. Shake that off right here, and there you go. Again, like I said, super windy. So they do light very good even after being wet. All right, now let's try a couple here of the ones made from the old record. I'm gonna dip it in there, around a little bit in the water, shake that off, and then there you go. That was the one. And now do the second one. Swish in the water, shake it off, and then, well, that one failed to light. All right, got one more in the water, swish it around. There we go. And there we go. Works really well. And like I said, if it wasn't for being so excessively windy out here today, that would have worked super well. All right, and then when you're done, make sure and put the matches in with the match head down. That way, if you have to reach in with damp fingers to pull out a match, you're not going to get the head of it wet any wetter than necessary. See, all the match heads are down, and that's a very good thing to do. Now, do remember that shellac is an accelerant, so it's going to actually help the matches burn hotter and perhaps even longer. So something really good to do, and something that is Horace Kephart and Hobo approved. This is James Bender for WayPoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure and check out the links in the description box below, just under the More button. While you're down there, you'll find the link for our WayPoint Survival digital class. This is where you can sign up to train in the comfort and convenience of your own backyard, the top 20 skills that we consider to be the most important from our Phase 1 Survival and Bushcraft class. You'll also find where you can sign up for our WayPoint Survival and Prepping 101 newsletter. It's brand new. There's a lot of great stuff coming out every week. I think you're really going to like it. It's totally free, so make sure and sign up for that. You'll also find the waypointsurvival.com link, and this is where you can sign up to take in-person classes at our beautiful training facility here in Southern Ohio. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.